what makes some nonprofit organizations thrive and adapt no matter the challenges they face, while others struggle to keep up. Well, rise and shine, leaders. This is Glenn Guyton, keynote speaker, workplace trainer. It's time for our executive coffee break. I've got my beverage in hand. I hope you have yours too. They say you can't choose your family, but you can choose your workplace culture and your beverage. I'm drinking coffee this morning. Leadership matters, so you might as well get good at it. Hey, I did buy some kombucha. Maybe I'll drink that on another show. See if I like it. We'll see what happens. But today is the final day. If you've been keeping up with my 25 tips for organizational transformation, we want to have a more productive, more harmonious workplace. And so here are my tips. Today, I'm going to go through tips 21 through 25. If you have not seen the other videos, catch up. If you're watching on LinkedIn, make sure you like, say something, comment. I want to know what you think. If you are watching on YouTube, subscribe, like. I would just love to have you to be a part of this community. So let's get it started this morning. We're going to jump right into it. Don't know when you're listening to this or where you're listening to it. Today is a big day for many people. A lot of things going on today. It's Good Friday for those of you that celebrate that. That's part of your faith journey. Also, it's Cowboy Carter Day for those of you that are into Beyoncé. So a lot of things going on today, but we're going to talk about nonprofit leadership. And if you're celebrating something else, have at it, feel free. But today we're going to focus on you as a leader, as a nonprofit leader, some things that you need to know. Again, go back and watch the other 4 videos if you haven't. And these are tips 21 through 25. I'm going to wrap this series up today. So tip number 21, encourage innovation. Let's dive right into it. Encouraging innovation in the nonprofit sector isn't just a buzzword. It's something that's so important for us. We want to stay on the cutting edge. Just because it's nonprofit doesn't mean that we can't keep up with we can't stay ahead of the curve, right? Sometimes we're just trying to keep up, but we can be ahead of the curve even in the nonprofit sector. Create a safe space for employees to propose innovative solutions, let them experiment. So start by and acknowledge creative efforts in the workplace. Share success stories during team meetings, no matter how smart. And we've talked about this before, about celebrating those wins. And understand that many ideas deserve consideration. Don't just dismiss ideas. That's how we encourage innovation. Let people think outside of that proverbial box, right? Let them try new things. Let them ask questions. And so provide a forum for people to think and act differently in the workplace. This not only fuels innovation, but strengthens your team's bond. Tip number 22, focus on long-term impact. Focusing on long-term impact in the midst of organizational change is not always easy. We can get caught up in the immediate, right? We can just see the problems and challenges that are right in front of our face. Somebody needs to be thinking down the road. And it's important that you as a leader are key in that. You're the key person that's doing that. I know that I've been caught up a lot of times with my boards and other people that are just focused on the immediate problem. But I'm trying to think 2 or 3 steps ahead. What is the long-term impact of this decision that we're going to make? And I've even been on boards, serving on nonprofit boards, and I've made decisions where the long-term impacts weren't really, really clear. And then later on, I'm thinking like, man, we should have made a different decision, right? Because we were thinking about the immediate. And some things you can't predict. But that's why it's important to think strategically. This is one of the reasons why I believe in strategic foresight is because we need to try to predict what's going to happen down the road. Like, how will this decision, this is a question you should ask yourself, how will this decision affect our mission in 5, 10, or 20 years? Maybe that's too far, but I mean, but you can think that way, because that 5, 10, and 20 year forecasting that you're going to do is going to come quicker than that, especially in today's society. And so this perspective ensures, this forward thinking perspective ensures your organization remains aligned with its core mission, making every step forward meaningful. Number 23. Yes, 23. We're on 23. Cultivate resilience. The ability to bounce back from setbacks is what makes nonprofit organizations stand the test of time. This involves preparing for potential challenges, fostering a culture of learning and adaptation. Go back and watch the other tips. Ensuring your team feels supported throughout. Remember, resilience isn't just about surviving; it's about thriving. Be resilient. I can think of a number of ways of saying that, talking about resilience. And I mentioned, okay, let's do the Beyoncé thing today, since Beyoncé is hot right now for some people. Beyoncé supposedly was dissed at the CMAs, right? She was dissed, and people were she was upset because she wasn't welcome into the Country Music Awards. Supposedly, I don't know if it's true or not. It's excellent. I mean, it's marketing, right? I don't know if it's excellent marketing, but it's marketing, right? So she was dissed. She had her feelings hurt. She was shaded per se, and so what did she do? I'm going to make me a Cowboy Carter album. You're not going to push me out. I'm Beyonce. She was resilient. She said, I'm going to bounce back. I'm going to show you what I have inside of me. And so now she has this album that people all around the world are listening to and dropping, and I'm talking about it on this show about nonprofit leadership. So how do we bounce back? How do we take adversity and turn it into something positive? That's resilience. How do we go through the disruptions and challenges in the workplace and do better? Do more gooder. That's how I should say that. Do more gooder. Beyonce came back with a Beyonce album. It's not a country album. It's a Beyonce album. She came back with it, right? Because she felt like she was pushed out of this particular industry. So instead of saying, well, poor me, she said, well, I'm going to dominate this industry. What if we did that in our daily work lives, right? If we could come back and dominate after we've taken a setback, how do we build our teams in such a way that they bounce back? That's what we want to do. That's resilience. Number 24, seek external advice. Now, in a previous video, I talked about partnerships and affiliations, how that can make you stronger as a nonprofit. Seeking advice is similar. It's easy to feel isolated when leading a nonprofit, but this is in particular for you as a leader. Seek external advice. Get yourself a coach. Get someone that's been through what you're going through. I'm amazed. I've led a nonprofit. I've served on multiple nonprofit boards. And you know what I found out? We're all dealing with the same issues, the same challenges. You're dealing with stakeholders that want more than you have the resources to provide. You are dealing with boards who are worried about some old, ancient, retired members because they still have some type of influence. And so you're worried about this old cadre while you're trying to move into the new. So the ghosts of the past continue to haunt you. You're trying to develop resources. You need more resources to do your job effectively. You're dealing with scope creep. People want you to do all the things. They want you to do all the things. That's what it is. They want you to do all the things. And you're saying, no, I was created to do this thing. And clarifying that mission is always a challenge. So nonprofits are dealing with the same things. And so get some advice. It'll help you feel less lonely as a leader. You won't feel isolated. And And it'll help your sanity, I believe. Sometimes this is so stressful being a nonprofit leader. You're like, man, what's going on? Am I the only one going through this? Am I a bad leader? No, you're not a bad leader. You're just going through the same thing that all executives go through. So get some external advice. That outside perspective, that view can help you. Believe me, it can. I've had to turn to mentors in the past, seeking external advice. So don't underestimate that. And finally, the big number 25. Lastly, leading with empathy and authenticity as leaders, we set the tone. Approach every decision, every interaction with genuine care and a clear vision. When your team sees your commitment to their well-being and the organization's mission, they'll follow suit with enthusiasm and dedication. That's why I always say on this broadcast, leadership matters, so you might as well get good at it. Leadership does matter. How you handle stress, how transparent you are, the integrity that you have is so critical. If you're a leader with no integrity, you're gonna reap what you sow. That's all I can say. If you're lying, hiding information, people are gonna lie and hide information from you. Lead like you want to be led. If you're a dictator, a tyrant, if you're insecure as a leader, that's going to show up in your team. Leadership does make a difference. I don't care. I don't care what the rules are, what the organizational statements are. Leadership makes a difference. You as a nonprofit leader, you can try to be all collaborative and all these other things and all these other words that we use, and you're going to listen to people and all these other things. But if that's not who you are as a leader, you can say whatever you want to say. Who you are is going to show up in your work. It's going to show up in your work. You can have feedback loops, and you can listen to all of the other 24 tips that I've given you. But if you don't pay attention to number 25, it's going to show up in your work, and none of this other stuff is going to matter. Leadership matters. It makes a difference. How you act and behave in the workplace makes a difference. And eventually, the things that you do they're going to show up. They're going to manifest in some one way or another. So just remember that as you lead, as you work with these organizations, as you work with people within your organization, show up in the way that you want to be led. All right, that's it. That's all 25 tips. Thank you all so much for joining me. So let's not forget the strength and perseverance that it takes to lead with empathy and inclusivity. Better leaders get better results. So to every one of you leading the charge for a more supportive and engaging workplace, I'll leave you with this. Stay bold, stay inspired, and remember that your decisions today shape the culture of tomorrow. My name is Glenn Guyton. You have a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful day.